where you realize you don't always need a diva if you're not worried about people breaking your shields on the other end. Instead, you go with the Winston to give yourself a little bit more options.
You open up with that greater aggression, that bubble, that displacement that Winston allows. And Kalios actually has had some Overwatch League Winston under his belt. He had to play it for a couple matches when Gamsu was not there for Boston Uprising. So he actually has Winston under his belt, and he was pretty proficient, actually.
Man, you're really speaking like a guy that was either watching a lot of this or even maybe on the team.
On the bench.
It's still close enough. Look, we're getting into it. Legion moving on in early. Kalios falling immediately, so just as we're praising him,
unfortunate.
We curse him instead. You lose to Winston. Now what do? You back out.
You leave. Panker hitting a great charge on Kalios there, opening up the fight, and then Skyfoxes just decides to leave because they're down the man, might as well back up.
So Legion starting out strong here, and Panker, again, just really strong mechanical play, something we've come to expect from him, has built up an Earth Shatter real early, and take a look at this. They're going for the early shield break here. They're focusing on Bio's shield, and this is all of a sudden Panker drops the hammer, and they had no idea that he already had it.
The Bash Shatter, and like you said, ZP, he built up Shatter the first fight. He got like a 50% ult charge Fire Strike. We haven't seen one of those in a long time. That was an incredible ult rate for Panker, like insane.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of one of those gotcha moments where you're not really expecting it, and as a result, you're probably going to be taken out for free.
Now they're just going to be trying to move into this point again for Skyfoxes. They're now equalizing the ults a little bit, but Legion still firmly in control, holding aggressive, making sure they cannot get in.
And it's a 1-2 combo between Panker and Gods, holding the front line right now. A lot of focus fire on the Bio. They have to use the armor pack on him relatively quickly. Now we're looking at Dalton. Has built up a grab very early in this fight, and as Skyfoxes try and break through right now, they're very likely to just get grabbed.
The grab combo here is going to be key for Legion. There is a trance out for Luna. Let's see if they can engage. The rally's out. Can they get it?
Rally's out. Grab Eden. It's Eden. Now Gods is probably just going to throw out the self-destruct and hope for the best. Grab out from No Name on the other side. Claris, though, falling early. Bomb from Gods doesn't do a whole lot, but forces people out. You don't have to get the killing blows with it.
That shatter from Panker was so good, ZP. He was able to bring down Claris, making sure there was no shield bash on the side of Skyfoxes to be able to get that combo, and they were able to live through the grab. Well played, despite the eat for Dalton.
And it's just very strong presence right now from Legion going, you know what, we don't want to be the team that loses Skyfoxes right now. No, we would actually like to secure our playoff spot. We don't want to mess with the unknown. Bio holding on the shatter, gonna drop it, gets absolutely nothing. I mean, one knockdown the back, but okay, it actually works out in the end. Rolf couldn't get away from the self-destruct, and it's okay for the Skyfoxes. They're able to get two and move on in.
The transport so late, despite that great engagement though for Skyfoxes. Now they won't have it for this upcoming fight. Legion's at 99, and they just have to build up their grab. There's no trance.
So that's the good news for the Skyfoxes, that, hey, the fight has worked out well. You've recapped. The downside, it's 99-2.
That trance really should not have been forced from Luna. Probably should have just committed to the death, if anything, because you need the trance for this upcoming fight. Dalton gonna have another grab. They're gonna have combo, rally. The ult so strong for Legion. The time bank so strong. Skyfox have to play some perfect Overwatch here.
And part one to that perfect Overwatch is just watching out for Far connecting with Panker here, where Panker doesn't need the setup, but certainly they're gonna be looking for it here, where you have the Brigida up here with the Rhine. Early grab, gonna pull him one. Panker going for the charge right after. Focus fire in the Bio, successful. They deal with the Rhine on the other side. Desperation grab from the other end, and Panker just lays down the hammer, cracks Claris out of the fight, and that should be enough for the Legion to take the round.
Panker really just having a target on Claris this entire game, just shattering them at every opportunity, which is fine. I actually think solo shattering Brigida is always the right play if you can get the kill. Right there, that's going to be it for Legion. Legion, well played. They were so dominant throughout that map. Panker looking strong, despite Dalton losing that grab. They just were in control.
And actually, I would even say for Panker, his Reinhardt has looked good all season long. This is a good standout even for him, where, again, I think that Winston as a hero usually has more room to shine on mechanical skill than Reinhardt does, especially in this meta where you're so reliant on your team. But for as much as an individual Reinhardt could shine, Panker was doing it there.
Part of that was indeed set up by Farah, though. Farah was having really good bash shatters, making sure to protect team, giving a lot of value to Rolf. Rolf did not have to use the transcendences in a way that were not optimal, while Luna, like we saw at the end, maybe not popping trances at the time that they need. Legion just looking polished overall.
So as we move here to Lighthouse stage, why would they get off the Rhine entirely here for Legion? Why put Panker onto the Winston?
Mobility is very strong on this map, being able to control the high ground, ping pong back and forth, and also Winston ult on the point so strong you can get people off the map very easily.
And That is Panker's specialty. He's going to start out here. Early cleave damage. Legion, again, just playing poke, but heavy focus now on Zarya. No name. Lucky to get away. Counter focus on the Panker, so he's going to back out, and it's a bit of a reset on both ends as the armor pack goes to Bio.
Just a zone as Skyfoxes moves towards the point, trying to get to the point. Panker, bubble out on the side of No Name. Health kind of low for Skyfoxes here, but they have the point.
And this is the downside to the Winston comp, is that you don't control quite as much space. It's easier for Skyfox to get early control, but here's the problem. Panker now at 70%, close to Prime. Oh, Luna gets picked off on the side, and Skyfox is bleeding members on the point here, and it's a really good poke-in from the Legion.
Giving up the point first isn't necessarily the end of the Koth round, especially when you set up a round, you make sure to get the damage, you follow up on the poke, which is what they did to Luna. Well played from Dalton, well played from Legion to not go into the grinder of Skyfox's composition and just play it slow and win the game.
In the end, you have to keep full sight of your victory objectives, and look, it's not the other team getting 22%, it's them getting 100. You can give up a little.
The ults here for Legion as well, looking very strong. Panker will have that Winston ult to just dislodge Skyfoxes as they try to make a mad dash to the point. Can they even make it? No, the grab is out.
This time, the grab not going to get Eden. Dalton lays it down early. They use it to focus down Claris, and already, the fight is very likely over. You lose your Brigida that early, and it's a full retreat. Skyfoxes knew that that was done.
Not just losing Brigida, but also using the trance and not getting the kill. Panker chasing so deep. They catch Verbo late. Will they keep chasing? I don't think they should. They don't. Good job from Legion backing up. Ults just building up again. Skyfoxes now looking, the tempo's not in their favor.
Not in the least. Going to the next fight, the odds are going to be against them, and this could be the defining fight here. They have a lot of ults to burn, but if they burn and get nothing, if the Legion fire back, that's going to be the map.
That will be map for sure. That'll be round. They pop the rally, I should say, very early, trying to get that armor on everyone and just approach the point, looking for the setup.
They give up a little bit in fight sustain, and Panker, he's had enough. Primal Rage goes for the knockoff and gets it. That is what makes Panker so scary on the Winston. The one upside here for the Skyfoxes, though, they haven't thrown much of anything into this fight. They had the rally, but they're able to save the rest because of how decisively it ended.
Rally is a relatively cheap ult to invest just in one fight, but in return, Legion only popping one of their own. Winston, which is a very low value ult of itself. If you're able to get kills with a Winston ult in a comp like this, then it's like doubled its worth already. Now Skyfoxes, this is last fight territory.
It is the final fight. Both teams going to throw everything they have into it. Legion looking to end it. Skyfoxes looking to stay alive. Nice shatter early on here from Bio. Knocks down 2. Goes for the pin. Can't get the finish. Gets to the barrier. Come out here from the Legion. Dalton holding on to the grab. Grab out early from Skyfoxes. Bomb to the sky. Looking for anything. Gets ruled. You see Dalton with the grab on the other end. Not going to be anywhere near
the
as
backup
effective.
from Verbo while all that is happening, by the way.
Meanwhile, yeah, the cap came in, so Legion, they don't even have control of the point. They shouldn't even really be trying to stall here. They're still trying to win it, but Gods is out of it. Now it's time to reset.
That'll be it, and well played from Verbo as well. He dropped the beat to keep his team alive, and then he just focused the point because he saw Legion was not at all contesting. They were getting caught in the grab of No Name. They just decided, I'm going to cap the point, make sure that we can get this objective, and we do not lose. We don't Z9 here.
Legion, they're still going to have about a good 2 to 3 attempts at this, and we'll see how decisively they go for it. It's probably more in the realm of 2 attempts, given that they're slow playing it a bit here, and it's going to be around Panker. Panker, very close to getting a Primal, diving on in recklessly, and now, Shadow to the other side, just going to hit Zarya's shield, doesn't do much at all. Meanwhile, Panker already finds Luna, holding Primal in reserve. Gods under fire, gets away, Bio out of the fight, and Legion are just taking this fight on their own.
Bio so deep there as well, looking for that shatter. Great block from Dalton, using the self-bubble. I'm not going to get shatter, I'll just bubble there to complete and negate your ult. And now Legion in control of the point. They have grab, trance is out, rally. That's going to be it.
And the problem for the Skyfoxes here is that even when they are able to win a fight here and there is no real point as we were watching that where we thought, it looks like they're going to take the round. Legion was in full control pretty much the entire time.
They never looked at control at any point. They were always fighting a tempo war. After you've lost the point, maybe capped it when you have 99. Now you have to play from that ult disadvantage, that time bank disadvantage. Skyfoxes were just not in control. Legion was. They set the tempo every fight. They were the ones determining the pace and how they engaged.
And I would say the backbreaker for that last round would just be Panker deciding to go full hero mode, going, oh, that's a cute Reinhardt. Let me have him go swimming. And you just use Primal to buy what was essentially about 25 to 30%. You've now just changed the entire dynamic of the game. And Legion just very efficient across the board.
Legion getting the value out of the ults, especially value out of ults that you shouldn't be getting value of necessarily. Value that's very tough to get. Right here we see that bio going off the map for Panker. Panker just putting so much displacement on the field. This is where a really great Winston player can shine. Legion, on both of their tank roles even, have very proficient Winston players, and they're able to use it to great effect. Well played from Panker that map, and Legion as well, even though a lot of the focus was on Panker. Far's setup was great. The backline for Legion staying alive when they needed to. Just well played all around.
And really, that's been Panker's MO all year long, right? Where you mentioned the idea that Primal isn't always the highest value ultimate. It is in the hands of Panker, where if it were a card game, it would just be sort of Primal Rage, +1, but when played by Panker, given an extra +2. He's been that good at extracting value from that. And it's also, to a degree, why Legion, I think, has looked a little bit weaker this season overall, is that they haven't been able to flex him in that role quite as much. But man, when they do, it's very impressive.
He's just looked so strong on Winston. I mean, I feel like Panker, if we were to put it into more Twitter speak, is like, okay, so basically I'm Monkey. Yeah. And that is what Panker would say. We're moving on to Numbani. This is a map where a lot of teams want to flex their flexibility. A lot of flexing there.
It is, but the problem here for Skyfoxes as they decide to go in is that, all right, I get it. You do have flexibility on your roster, and against most teams that are very 3-3 centric, this would make sense, right? If you're the Legion, you love this map pick. You go, yes, we really do want to go to Numbani because Legion relishes any chance they get to not have to go for the tried and true. And even if they do end up running a 3-3 here, and okay, Panker's the one person that I could believe the Hammond. I still don't think it's going to be the case, but
he's good on that hero.
He is.
He's really solid on that hero, and the mobility can give you a lot of value, especially if you're choosing to play a very mobile comp where you want to put your resources into other players.
Yeah, it could be for real, but for Legion, this is just something that they really like. They like Numbani first, so even if the Skyfoxes are very comfortable, which is almost certainly why they've brought it here, I don't think it's an advantage to them at all versus how the Legion like to play.
They really want to utilize some of that DPS talent, that mechanical talent that is on the Skyfoxes roster, but they haven't been able to necessarily showcase. But Legion has it themselves. They do have it, and especially their tank line looking really, really solid so far. Their back line as well. This is still in Legion's favor, in my opinion, and it's on Skyfoxes here to then now determine the rest of the match.
I really hope the Hammond is for real here. We'll find out in a moment. Yeah, it is. Like I said, Panker is one person that you can believe when he shows Hammond, it might be the real deal.
It could very well.
Oh, no. Why have you done that?
No, because there's a Sombra. Sombra on the field, ZP.
Yeah,
they don't want to play the Hammond into the Sombra.
Yes.
You're just going to be hacked. Then you're just a rolling Duracell battery of ult charge.
As much sense as that makes, you think back to playoffs last season, I saw Panker run Hammond no matter what, so he doesn't always care about the counters.
Maybe to their detriment there when they were running that.
So,
Legion's making the smart swaps, going to this Goats composition to try to negate the Sombra, try to make sure the Soldier can't get all that value. They're going to come from lower and look for the engage.
And Panker immediately taking the initiative, going to the top end. A lot of focus fire on him early on, but going for Clara's gonna get him with the 8-0 rule, so it works out. And more importantly, he's kept healed the entire time. It's a man advantage to the Legion, and now it's just about moving in and cleaning up your early advantage, and they're doing just that. Rule, really the linchpin.
Under no circumstances should Clarice have died in that engagement. Panker should have been burnt too. He was fighting Clarice Luna up top. How is he possibly able to survive that long with his Zimmer? They catch Luna late as well. Really, really well engaged from Legion, but not the cleanup they need, the peel they need from Skyfoxes.
I would like to know who's the poor soul that is stuck back in the payload.
Gods.
Panker?
It's Gods.
Is it Gods?
No, wait, no, I lied. It's Far.
No. Okay.
Generally, I see the Diva's been on the point a lot more in this Contender season, but it looks like they choose to put Far on it.
Brigida, you have been exiled. Back over to the payload as everyone else gets to have fun on the other side. But now they're going to back it up a bit as Skyfoxes do get to regroup.
Skyfoxes now have to make their re-engage here. They still have plenty of time to defend second, but Legion, look at Dalton, already 88% on grab. No Name making the swap, and now not even close.
It's such a huge advantage for a point where the offense is already favored to begin with. And you're right, you look towards Dalton here. Gonna have an early grab. All he needs to do, not feed it away. They get No Name immediately, and now you start wondering, do you save it? You have a grab that's come in here, you're still totally fine. You get to hold on to those resources, but no, you're gonna use the grab. It's gonna force out the sound barrier, bomb right to the side, Bile out of the fight, and it's just well-contained gameplay coming out here from the Legion, and it should give them point B.
Legion just cleaning up on the cart after that fight. Maybe not, they didn't necessarily have to invest the grab, but ensuring the fight win. You could have maybe ult economy a little bit harder, played a very, a very miser's way of ult, but they decide to invest, ensure the cap time, because they're rolling ZP. Look at this time bank, 5.5 minutes.
And the reason why that last fight was so easy, I mean, you get the fast break, you take down the Zarya on the other side. That's just an easy fight from there on out.
And then the ult ad just compounds as Skyfoxes look for the engage here again with the Diva Bomb.
Well, it's a raw Diva Bomb going right down Broad Street and doesn't connect with much of anything. Bio had the Primal Rage just for disruption, just to stay alive, and it's going to force out the barrier, but Verbo's going to go down. The Legion, they don't care. They dive on in. It's a deep charge coming in from Panker, and as you go in here, it's looking very good for the Legion. Man advantage and payload pushing.
Dalton's so high energy right now. Claris so deep. They're going to pick up Claris and Kalios on cart. They're going to have another grab. They're going to have another Diva Bomb combo out. Wolf been fragging. He has that trance. Not looking great for Skyfoxes. They have to stagger out and look for this cart contest.
And this combo could be the finishing blow to what has been a very, very fast break, where Gods, he's going to be a slave almost here to Dalton, where he's going, Dalton, you lead the way. Once you drop the grab, I'm going to drop this right on over. So it's all up to Dalton, and clearly Skyfoxes know that. You see Zarya being this aggressive, you know the grab is coming, it's Eden!
There it is.
It's Eden! It's too telegraphed, and now the Legion have a much less clear path to victory, but hey, toss the bomb up anyways, deal with the Brigida, force them on back, and they lose their Brigida early on. It's a counter grab coming in from No Name, and Skyfoxes are doing an okay job of containing.
But they will stay alive in this engagement. They're just playing so much. Wolf, great trance, catching Bio as well. The shield breaks. Now, Legion has that Ryan on point. They're just cleaning up the targets. The focus fire. This could be it.
Well, they lost the key parts of their front line right now. Who's going to stand the point and stop them moving forward? Pretty much no one. The Legion, key pickoff here, keeping it in their favor, but now that the respawns are coming back in, they give it a little bit of time. They don't overextend, and they're gonna wait because they have time to play with.
That was it. The great beat from Virgo, by the way, as well. They probably did not want to invest that on the side of Skyfoxes, considering that now there's going to be another grab Diva Bomb combo out on the side of Legion. They have that combo again. Luna doesn't have a chance to that yet, and now Verbo very far away from beat while Pooks has his own. Legion could look for a very aggressive engage.
So we got Dalton holding on to the grab, and Gods, to his credit, able to build up a very quick self-destruct of his own. So we're going to get take two here, where Dalton has been a little bit prone to throwing the grabs in the Diva boss. Diva coming in from the side, they're going to get caught and grab first, and now you just got to hold it for Legion. Don't invest anything.
Well, they invested grab.
Ooh, why did he do that? Why?
They directly heard you say that and said, no, but I will put the grab out.
Dalton just repeated Onyx's mistake
from
yesterday.
It's Onyx flashback.
Yeah, it's a full flashback. God's held on. God says, I'm not going to do it. I don't know why Dalton invested. I really don't.
Panic Q, Fat Finger. We'll have to just check the Discord later. We'll get back with them. But now Skyfoxes, their disadvantage has been turned more to an advantage. They have that defender spawn. Their ults are coming up. Dalton doesn't have grab anymore. Legion's gonna have to get a little bit more creative. Maybe take a dry fight even.
And it's been Kalios. Kalios has been living rent-free in Dalton's head right now. He's the one that's making Dalton just have all these misplays, and it's why the Legion have been really struggling to get anything going right now. They have a game plan. They're going to go for it. Self-destruct now. Going to the side. Gods hoping for it. Gets nothing. Transcend up to the Skyfoxes, but Panker taking matters into his own hands. Drops the Earth Shatter, and now they're going to roll forward, and Panker has led the way.
Great late shatter from Panker, catching Skyfoxes as they chase the trance. Then Wolf just popping the trance to make sure no one goes down. They can't afford to lose anybody to make sure they clean up on cart. Legion in control. They're about to have grab again. Skyfoxes in not a great scenario.
Skyfoxes, pure desperation if they can even get back out, and nope, Blair is unable to roll just a little bit more to get the key delay, but man, you think about what this could have been. We really should just highlight Kalios more. Kalios was playing incredibly well to make this happen, where, yeah, Dalton was having issues in landing grabs, but you have to give credit to the Diva player that's coming in innovative ways to the point that you're eating grabs and not making it easy for the other Zarya.
Kalios had a great series, but right there we saw the round-deciding game shatter. No block, no shield up. They were being very aggressive with that trance from Luna, and they weren't keeping in mind. We see that happen a lot in grabs as well, in those grab exchanges where there's a lot of ults on the field. They're trying to clean up. You have to keep track of the shatter. You have to keep track of those ults that can put you on the ground and then clean you up, and they weren't. Panker, great shatter. Legion, still solid time.
And just to be clear, that is why Panker is an Overwatch League caliber player, why he is on a two-way contract, right? Is that Panker, what do you expect from a player that's OWL caliber? Is that players to make plays where you don't always see a player making a play in that position. And we saw it there again towards the end where things were going rough for the Legion. The preferred method of advancement there with a good combo simply wasn't happening. What does Panker do? Panker finds a moment to drop the hammer and turn the tables regardless of whether or not it made sense.
Plus, Wolf on the sidelines, we haven't talked about him quite as much, but he's been popping. He's reminding me of the old, he's reminding me very much of the old Method Wolf almost. Like, he has just been a force so far. The trances are always up when they need them. Wolf having a great game.
So we have the Skyfoxes offense coming in, and they're going to be going to the Pharah once more. What do you think of it versus what the Legion are running?
This can be a comp that, as long as they don't feed, that's it, ZP. You cannot feed. You are not UNICEF. You're not a charity. You have to not be feeding those that are hungry because you don't have a lot of heals on the field. Everything is based around poke.
You keep all the food to yourself, you let the Rockets do the talking for you, and it's Gods whose main goal right now is Claris containment, where you stop Claris from doing what he wants to do. Your D.Va right now pretty much entirely committed to going for the Pharah.
That is their only recourse as well, unless Wolf decides to put on his best anti-air turret impression, because Gods, he's the one that's going to stop the barrages. He's the one that's going to stop the damage from the Pharah. Legion just playing slow. Skyfoxes making sure to pressure point, try to bring them there.
Claris is going for the boop off, doesn't quite get it. And Skyfoxes, I mean, they're going slow enough here that the Legion are okay. You look at the Legion's health right now, they're fine with this dance of doom that's going on.
But Barrage already up on the side of Claris. Luna is about to have that Valk as well. They could look for the gauge as long as Bio does not die here, and he dies.
Well, they're down the Winston already. Claris, though, already committing, going for Gods. Gods gonna get healed up from the side, so Gods still totally fine, and Claris just needs to back out.
Claris has to leave here. Bio dying early in that fight, not being ready to use that Valk, use that barrage, but no name, EMP out as well. If they can get the EMP out, they could effectively set up the barrage, but they have to catch the supports. They have to catch the supports because they just have a trance.
Well, it comes down here to where No Name needs to say he's going in, and Claris needs to make a movement right as the EMP is coming in. It's very easy for this to be messed up.
Good idea from Far, by the way, popping this rally early to make sure the team has armor.
Makes sense, and it also means a little bit of EMP insurance. No Name, gonna drop the EMP. Claris, where are you at? Claris, you gotta be around the drop barrage. He's all over on the other side. Finishes off Gods, but meanwhile, the rest of the team is fighting over there, and Legion can still very well fight this back. The barrage simply not impactful enough.
Claris deciding to solo barrage the out-of-met Gods while his team EMP top left. They could not clean it up. They do not have the damage. An interesting target selection from the side of Skyfoxes.
I'm calling you out on your caster speak. Interesting is code word for bad. That was not
very bad.
That
very
was not
bad.
Good target selection. It's a baby D.Va. What is it going to do to you at that point?
I don't even know. I don't even know. It may be a miscommunication on which side they're going to EMP. I find that unlikely. Giving Claris the benefit of the doubt. Now they're going to be swapping. Goats here for Skyfoxes. But this ult economy now so far ahead for Legion. The time bank as well looking really good.
It's very good for the Legion. They could get rolled over in this next fight and they'd feel fine. Dalton holding on to the ground. Enemies coming on in, and again, just waiting for it. Dalton very tentative on the grounds, but might not need to use it. Under pressure from the Winston here, and look, he has enough armor. He'll take that battle all day long, especially with the energy that he has. Legion overall, very, very healthy right now. Bio gonna fall, and just not really under threat in the least as we head into the final minute.
Legion not even needing to invest any of their stronger ults at this time. They can play slow. They have the man advantage. They have the health advantage. Panker just forcing them back into the hall. They've regained high ground. Legion, very well played with the split, not having to use any more ults than just rally. They're in control.
And Skyfoxes have done very little to actually change that. And we look to No Name, right, where he's looking for a great grab, but it's going to be really hard to do that here. He's going to find the grab, but Claris already falls as they're trying to go on forward. Self-destruct coming in, Legion going to clean it up. And that was just a tough angle to really see the grab doing anything.
This is once again where we see teams wanting to play Winston, but not wanting to play mobile. They're just going through top left every time, CP. Why are they not bringing them to point? Why are they not trying to abuse their mobility, set up the grab, make them split, make them get into a position they don't want? And now Skyfoxes has to run to point, 9 seconds left.
And the answer is, it wasn't their main game plan. Their game plan was to win with Pharah, and it got ruined. So this was their plan B, and the plan B wasn't well thought out. Legion, though, very well thought out. They're going to collapse in, force out the Transcendence early on. Panker, a lot of disruption with Primal Rage. They get the DMAC early, and you just look at what's going on. They're getting bounced left, right, and center. The Legion not even fearful in the least. And as a result, this is going to be a very dominant Nambani for them, ended with a point A hold.
late rally out from Clarice, but the fight is over. The trance from Wolf sealing it, catching them in the choke there, juggling them from Panker. Everything just worked out in the favor of Legion. They abused the weaknesses on the side of Skyfoxes. Skyfoxes didn't use their advantages. They didn't play around that EMP barrage. They didn't play around their Winston. They were swapping without a mindset of how they were going to take the fights to win. Legion looking very in control.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing about how that transpired is that the reason why EMP into Barrage is very effective is that you're shutting down the ability of Defensive Matrix, which means that you have a rare opportunity for Afara to not worry about the D.Va, to go in for the meteor targets on the other side. And what happens when Claris gets that opportunity? You have a spike elimination on the baby D.Va? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
To be fair, to give some context to that play as well, Gods decides to split from the team when the EMP came out, and he bombs his team defensively, which we've seen before. So he's out of mech. He's bombing the EMP that they have just put out. Skyfox has just EMP'd the side of Legion. So he's hoping to keep his team alive, a blanket of just explosion where they can't get any kills. But Claris, all he has to do is wait for the bomb to end and then go in and barrage. The EMP is still active, but instead he chooses to focus the baby D.Va.
Yeah, and,
interesting target selection.
And even also for the EMP, like trying to get the D.Va into it to begin with also would have been a little bit better. It's just, it's really awkward how that went down for the Skyfoxes. In the end, not super effective. Legion, however, looking like a well-oiled machine. Guys, Skyfoxes, they can still bring it back. We will see if they can do just that after the break.